Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's Blackbright, broadcasting out of England around the world and bringing you information that I think is important. I always need to say I'm not an immigration lawyer. I don't have legal profession. I don't have qualifications in that area. I'm actually a qualified teacher, and I'm also a qualified counsellor. But I find out information and I share what information I think is relevant with others, with the hope that it helps them on their journey and helps them not to get caught up in the hype. So today I'm talking about the immigration process and how, the government and everybody make out like, oh, this immigration is such a big deal and mass immigration and, it's costing the country that millions and billions and all this kind of crap. When all it is, the only reason that they're concerned about people who have not registered to become citizens or have overstayed is all to do with money. Money, money, money. That's all it's about. Now, I didn't realise the fees had gone up so much. And I'm going to read out the fees to you. You're going to be surprised. And it's the reason why I believe a lot of people haven't been able to naturalise. I mean, I know years ago it was so much cheaper. But, inflation is relative. And did you know that it costs $1,000 to register a child as British? So there's me saying, all the fathers, they can register their children. Cost them £1,000 to register a child. So, and that is, they're being penalised because the mother is not British, because that's the only way that applies. Otherwise, it's just a passport. Anyway, I'm going to give you some of the fees that people have to pay to legalise themselves in the UK. We have indefinite leave to remain. That costs, the application fee for that is £2,389. The application fee for naturalisation is £1,330. To apply for a dependent relative, £3,250 per dependent. There's also, in addition to that, an immigration health surcharge. By the way, there's $400 per migrant that they have to pay a year and $300 per student that they have to pay. But in addition to those application fees to do with, legitimising yourself, there's also preparing documents on top of that, £141. There's a priority service. So I guess if you want it to be done maybe within 7 to 14 days, maybe, I'm just speculating, you can get that done for £573. Super priority, maybe if you want to get it done in 7 days, I don't know what time frame that is. Maybe I should have looked it up. But it's £956. But guess what super premium is? That has to be, to turn it around in a day, £10,500. Super premium. Telephone helpline. If you call the telephone helpline, it's £1.38 a minute. If you want immigration advice, it's £53 an hour. If you want a visitor's extension, it's £993. A retired person of independent means has to pay £1,949. So really, they're talking about, the immigrants this, the immigrants that. And I mean, if people have legitimised themselves and have naturalised themselves, can you imagine how much money they've made? It's probably why they're booting out those who haven't paid, because really, it's really expensive to naturalise yourself. or to get an indefinite leave to remain. And not only that, you know, you'd think after paying all that money, you know, they'd forego everything else. But oh no, you've still got to comply with all the other restrictions and requirements. So, you know, it really is all about the money. And I just wanted you to have an idea, because a lot of us, you know, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, oh, why don't they just go and get themselves a passport? Why don't they just go and naturalise themselves? Why don't they register their children? But the average John Joe, is he really going to have £1,000 to make his child British? Is he really? I tell you something, you're better off just British, sticking with British, honestly, because the cost of marrying outside, and it's almost like they're penalising people for marrying outside their race, for marrying outside the country, because that's what it really boils down to, penalising people for coming into the country or for going outside the race. Anyway, enough of me. I hope this information is useful. I mean, I guess it's useful in the sense that if you are thinking about applying for any one of those visas, you have a rough idea in advance how much it's going to cost. But that is as of today, February 2019. Goodness knows what's going to happen after Brexit, how much it's going to go up by. I mean, they're really trying to make it as though it's not even feasible for people to pay that money. That's what they're really doing. Because if you can't afford that money, you know, you can't come. So it's really pricing people out of the market. Same way they price people out of their homes, you know, with the ULEZ pricing people out of London. Tell you something, them not easy, you know. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye-bye.